Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Daily English Podcast. I'm James, your host, and I'm so glad you're joining us today.
Hi, listeners. I'm Sophie, and I can't wait to dive into today's topic. James, this one is kind of big, right?
Oh, it's huge. Today, we're asking a question that honestly I think a lot of us have thought about. Is the internet rotting our minds?
Brain rot. It sounds a little scary, doesn't it? But I think it's worth talking about. I mean, the internet is everywhere. On our phones, at work, in school, even in the supermarket.
Absolutely. And before we jump in, let me say, if you're learning English, you're in the right place. We're here to help you learn English, have fun, and talk about real-life topics. So, stick with us.
That's right. We'll explore the good, the bad, and the weird about the internet and our brains, and help you pick up some new English words along the way.
So, Sophie, before we get into the details, can I ask, what's your relationship with the internet? Do you feel like your brain has changed since the days before smartphones?
Oh, wow. Great question. I remember when I was younger, I used to read a lot of books. I could sit for hours just lost in a story. Now, I find it harder to focus. Sometimes, if I get a message, I'll stop what I'm doing and check my phone, even if I'm in the middle of something important.
I know exactly what you mean. I do the same thing. Sometimes I'll be working and then suddenly I'm watching funny cat videos online. And 20 minutes just disappear. Have you ever done that, listeners? You mean to do something productive, but then you fall down a rabbit hole online?
Oh, all the time. Actually, last night I wanted to look up a simple recipe. I ended up scrolling through food photos for half an hour, and then I was too tired to cook anything. It's funny, but also a bit worrying, right?
Yeah, it is. So let's set the stage for today's episode. We'll ask, is the internet changing our brains? How does it affect our memory, focus, and even our happiness? And is brain rot real or just a myth?
We'll talk about the science, the myths, our own experiences, and what you can do to keep your brain healthy, even in the digital age.
And of course, we'll share some useful English words and phrases you can use to talk about technology and your brain.
So, are you ready? Let's get started.
All right, first things first. What do we mean by brain rot? It's kind of a dramatic phrase, isn't it?
Yeah, it sounds like something from a horror movie, but really, when people say brain rot, they usually mean that someone's brain is getting worse because of too much internet or screen time. Maybe you can't focus or you forget things easily. Is that about right, James?
Exactly. It's not a real medical term, but you might hear people say it as a joke or when they're worried. Like, oh no, I've been on TikTok for 3 hours. My brain is rotting.
So let's look at the internet and what it does to our brains. James, do you think the internet is good or bad for us?
Honestly, both. The internet is amazing. We can learn anything, talk to anyone, and find answers instantly. But if we use it too much, it can make us distracted or even anxious.
Yeah. And, there's actually research about this. Scientists say that our brains are always changing, or plastic. That means we can adapt to new things, like technology.
Right. That's called neuroplasticity. Our brains can make new connections. So learning to use the internet isn't bad. But if we only use it for quick, easy things, we might forget how to focus deeply.
That's so interesting. So maybe it's not about the internet itself, but how we use it?
Exactly. Let's break it down. We have a list of subtopics to explore. Ready?
Let's do it. What's first?
Subtopic 1. Attention span. Have you ever noticed it's hard to focus on one thing for a long time now?
Oh, absolutely. I used to read for hours, but now I check my phone every 10 minutes. It's like my brain wants something new all the time. What about you?
Same. And studies show that the average attention span is getting shorter. In fact, some people say our attention span is now shorter than a goldfish's. Can you believe that?
Wait, are goldfish really that bad at paying attention?
Well, actually, that's a myth. But it makes a good point. The internet gives us so much information so quickly, our brains don't always want to slow down and focus.
Right. And that leads to our next subtopic, multitasking. Do you think the internet is making us better multitaskers?
I think a lot of us try to do many things at once, like watching TV, chatting with friends, and checking social media, all at the same time. But research says multitasking is not very good for our brains. We make more mistakes and remember less.
That's true. I tried to study for my English exam while texting a friend. I ended up mixing up my answers. Listeners, have you ever tried to do too many things at once? How did it go?
Great question, Sophie. Let's move to the next subtopic, memory. Is the internet making us forgetful?
Honestly, I feel like I can't remember phone numbers anymore, or even my friends' birthdays. I always check online. Is that bad?
Not really. It's called digital amnesia. Our brains don't remember things we can look up easily. Some experts say it's not a problem as long as we remember important things, but it does change how we use our memory.
So maybe we're just using our brains in a different way. Like, I don't need to remember every fact, but I do need to know how to find information quickly.
Exactly. Now on to subtopic 4, information overload. The internet has more information than we could ever read. How do you feel about that?
Sometimes it's exciting. I love learning new things, but it can also make me feel stressed or overwhelmed. There are so many choices, I don't know where to start.
Yeah, same here. That's called decision fatigue. When we have too many options, our brains get tired. It's harder to make good choices.
I didn't know there was a word for that. Decision fatigue? It makes sense. Sometimes I just give up and watch whatever video pops up first.
Me too. Okay, next point. Social connections. Do you think the internet brings people closer together or makes us more lonely?
That's a tough one. I think it does both. I can talk to friends who live far away, but sometimes I feel left out when I see people having fun on social media. It's like I'm connected, but also a little bit lonely.
Yeah, that's called FOMO, fear of missing out. It's a real thing. Social media can make us feel happy, but also jealous or sad.
And don't forget cyberbullying. That's another downside. People can be mean online, and it can really hurt.
Absolutely. So let's talk about our next subtopic, sleep. Is your phone making it harder to sleep, Sophie?
Oh, yes. I used to read before bed, but now I check my phone. I end up staying awake much later than I want. The blue light from screens makes it harder for my brain to relax.
Exactly. Experts say you should put your phone away at least 30 minutes before bed. That way your brain knows it's time to sleep.
Easier said than done, James, but I'm going to try.
Me too. Next up, learning. Is the internet good for learning or does it make it harder?
I think it's both. I use YouTube and apps to learn English, and it's amazing. But sometimes I get distracted. I start watching a grammar lesson and end up watching funny animal videos.
Yeah, me too. But overall, I think the internet is a great tool for learning if you use it carefully. Listeners, do you use the internet to learn English? What's your favorite app or website?
Let us know. Maybe we can share your tips in a future episode.
All right, next topic, critical thinking. Do you think the internet helps us think more deeply or less?
Sometimes I just believe what I read online, even if it's not true. It's easy to get fooled by fake news or rumors.
Right. That's why it's important to check your sources and not believe everything you see. The internet has good information, but also a lot of bad information.
So maybe the internet can make us smarter if we use it the right way.
Exactly. And that brings us to our next point, creativity. Do you think the internet makes us more creative?
Oh, definitely. People share amazing art, music, and stories online. I get inspired to try new things all the time.
Yeah, the internet is full of creative ideas. You can learn to paint, cook, or even dance. just by watching others.
But sometimes it's easy to just copy what other people do instead of making something new, so you have to be careful.
True. Okay, next, privacy. Is it safe to share your life online?
It can be risky. Once you share a photo or a message, it's hard to take it back. You have to be smart about what you post.
And that's something we didn't worry about before the internet. Now, our digital lives are just as important as our real lives.
That's so true. Okay, next topic, online shopping. Is it making us happier or just more impulsive?
Haha, I know I buy more things online than I should. It's so easy. Just one click and it's on the way to your house.
Yeah. It's convenient, but sometimes I regret buying things I don't really need. It's important to think before you click.
Absolutely. Let's talk about another important topic, mental health. How does the internet affect our mood?
It can be good or bad. I love talking to friends online, but sometimes seeing bad news or arguments makes me feel sad or anxious.
Yeah. If you're feeling down, it's okay to take a break from the internet. Go outside, talk to someone in real life, or just relax.
That's great advice. Okay, next. Instant gratification. Do you think the internet is making us impatient?
Definitely. We're used to getting everything fast. Movies, messages, food deliveries. Sometimes waiting feels impossible now.
Yes. I get annoyed if my video takes more than 5 seconds to load. I have to remind myself to be patient.
Me too. Now, how about cultural differences? Do you think people in other countries use the internet differently?
Oh, definitely. In some places, people use the internet mostly for work or school. In others, it's more about social media or games. And in some countries, certain websites are blocked, so people use different apps.
Yeah, and that can make learning English online different depending on where you live. Some learners have access to lots of resources. Others have to be creative.
That's why community is so important. If you can, join an online group or forum to practice English. It makes learning more fun.
Great tip. Okay, let's talk about misinformation. Have you ever fallen for fake news, Sophie?
Oh, yes. Once, I believed a story about a celebrity that turned out to be totally false. It's embarrassing, but it happens.
It happens to everyone. That's why it's so important to double-check what you read. Ask yourself, is this true? Where did it come from?
Exactly, and if you're not sure, ask a friend or teacher. Better safe than sorry.
All right, we're getting close to the end of our list. Next topic, productivity. Does the internet help you get more done or make you procrastinate?
Honestly, both. I find great tools online, like planners and reminders, but sometimes I waste time scrolling instead of working.
Yeah, me too. The trick is to set limits. Like use a timer or block distracting websites when you need to focus.
Good idea. And don't forget to reward yourself for good work. Even a little break can help you stay motivated.
Yes. And last but not least, digital detox. Have you ever taken a break from the internet, Sophie?
I have. Last year, I went hiking for a weekend and there was no phone signal. At first, I felt strange, almost lost. But after a while, I felt calm and free. I listened to the birds, smelled the trees, and just enjoyed the moment.
That sounds amazing. I tried it once too. It's hard at first, but then you realize how much time you usually spend online. Maybe we should all do that once in a while.
Definitely. Listeners, have you ever tried a digital detox? How did it feel? Would you do it again?
Let us know. And remember, it's okay to take a break. Your brain needs time to rest and recharge.
So, to sum up, the internet can be great for learning, connecting, and having fun. But it can also make us distracted, tired, or anxious if we're not careful.
Exactly. It's all about balance. Use the internet to help you, but don't let it control you.
Before we go, let's highlight some key vocabulary from today's episode. Ready, James?
Let's do it. First word, attention span. This means how long you can focus on something without getting distracted. For example, my attention span is short when I use my phone a lot.
Next, multitasking. This is when you do two or more things at the same time. You might try to study and watch TV, but it's hard to do both well.
Great one. Third, digital amnesia. This is when you forget things because you rely on your phone or computer to remember for you, like forgetting a friend's phone number.
Another important word, decision fatigue. This means you get tired from making too many choices. For example, I have decision fatigue after shopping online for hours.
Next up, FOMO. That's fear of missing out. It's when you feel left out because you see other people having fun on social media.
How about cyberbullying? That's when someone is mean to you online. It's a serious problem, and if it happens to you, talk to someone you trust.
And finally, digital detox. This means taking a break from the internet or screens to rest your mind.
Great words. And remember, these words are used all the time in English-speaking countries. For example, people often talk about doing a digital detox to feel better, or complain about FOMO after seeing party photos online.
Right, and a quick note on FOMO. It's actually an acronym which means each letter stands for a word, fear of missing out. Acronyms are really common in English, like ASAP for as soon as possible.
And multitasking comes from multi, meaning many, and task, meaning job or activity. So it's doing many jobs at once.
Very cool. So, listeners, try using these words in your own sentences. Maybe tell us about your attention span, or if you've ever done a digital detox.
We'd love to hear from you. And remember, learning English is a journey. Some days are easy, some days are tough, but you're never alone.
So true. Before we say goodbye, Sophie, do you have any final thoughts on brain rot and the internet?
I guess my main thought is, don't be afraid of technology, but use it wisely. Take breaks, talk to real people, and don't forget to enjoy the world around you.
I agree. The internet is a tool. It's up to us how we use it. And hey, if you're using it to learn English, you're already doing something great.
That's for sure. Thank you all for listening to the Daily English Podcast. We hope you learned something new and had some fun along the way.
Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a comment, or share your story with us. We love hearing from you.
Take care of your brain, and remember to take a break from the screen now and then.
Until next time, keep learning, keep smiling, and have a wonderful day. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. See you soon.